Hello and welcome to the report 22 of the swine disease reporting system. My name is Daniel Linhares at Iowa State.
Hello, my name is Giovanni Trevisan from Iowa State.
And today, lots to talk about. PRRS season is here. Also PD, Delta, and TGE, at least in the grow finish area, right, Giovanni? A lot of activity in grow finish. And we are also going to talk about increased diagnosis of a few respiratory pathogens, as well as rotavirus and Streptococcus suis. So let's start, as usual, here with the domestic disease monitoring report, which is about detection of pathogens, nucleic acid by PCR. And that's the page 2 of the report, and that page covers information about PRRS virus. So, in the PRRS page here, the take-home of this page, a lot of information here in the page, is that percentage of cases testing positive for PRRS RNA by quantitative PCR is on the rise, but still within the expected boundaries based on your forecasting model, Giovanni. So what else can you talk about it?
This increase in the percentage of positive cases is still within the predicted, but there is a trend for increased detection in the win-to-market animals. That is, for the fourth consecutive month, it is increasing. And for the second consecutive month, it is increasing the adult sow farms as well. So this is following the trend of increasing the win-to-market animals is preceding increasing in sow farms. If you look for the MSHIM report and compare with it, in the last few weeks, there is 4 to 5 sow farms outbreaks. So looks like the comparison between the two data sets are increased in detection in the SDRS. It agrees with the increased number of the outbreaks in the MSHIM farms. So based on this, the Advisory Council raised the concept that there is the need at this momentum to better comply with biosecurity measures for people movement between farms, for maintenance guys, and for truck movements for animal movement and or feed delivery. So this compliance with biosecurity could prevent the spread of the virus across farms.
Yeah, pretty good point, right? That's, like you said, pretty dramatic here. Looking at the report, since July, the number of cases testing positive by PCR coming from grow finish animals, it's increasing almost in a linear trend. And it's a good reminder that it's that time of the year. Temperatures are colder, so good for virus survivability. So good piece of advice that we got from our advisory council to remind people about the importance of biosecurity and prevent further spread of the virus. Anything else in the PRRS page?
No, for PRRS page, that this is what we have to point out at this report.
Okay, so next page is the page 3 of the report and talks about detection of enteric coronaviruses by PCR. And take home of the page here, looking at the charts, it's pretty obvious here that detection of Delta coronavirus as well as PD virus is within the forecast on your model, but with some spikes, right? In other words, detection above the expected in a few weeks from cases of a few states. So tell us more about it.
This increase in detection of the enteric coronavirus is basically in win-to-market animals, and there is a strong detection coming from Iowa, and there is signals coming from Kansas for increased detection as well. So most driven by this age category, and it's consistent both agents in the last month.
And how about TGE? It's also part of this page, showing here, looking at the charts, that the number of cases the number of cases for TGE has been very low for the past 4 or 5 years, right? So there is no forecasting model for this agent. But anyways, just looking at the numbers of PCR positive cases, it's pretty obvious here that in 2019, it has been higher than previous year, with about 4 cases testing positive by PCR per month, and in November there were 7 cases testing PCR positive. What else do we know based on about those TGE positive cases?
The major number of cases positive for TGE came from the wind-to-market animals, as the other enteric coronavirus. The major number was also coming from Iowa. In this report, for example, most of them came from Iowa, but we see some other detection in other states. For example, we saw some in Minnesota and Indiana. In the other months, we saw some in different states like South Dakota, but the major of those are detected in Iowa.
Okay, so both on the PERS page and these enteric coronaviruses, we're seeing a lot of activity, not only but mostly from grow finish animals, right? So that reminds us about biosecurity again. It's the time of the year, a lot of activity of PERS and the enteric coronaviruses in grow finish animals. So good opportunity to revisit biosecurity from and to biosecurity, grow finish sites. All right, so moving to the 4th page of the report, which is about detection of Mycoplasma pneumoniae by PCR. And so also the detection of Mycoplasma pneumoniae DNA by PCR is also within the expected based on your forecasting model, but it's on the upper limits, right? And it does have a few spikes. So tell us more about it, Giovanni.
This increasing detection of Mycoplasma pneumoniae in that week that had the spike was basically cases that came from wind-to-market animals. But if you look for the week 46, we did not detect a spike, but that was a very high detection in adult sow farm animals. At that week, basically 50% of the cases tested was positive for Mycoplasma pneumoniae coming from adult sow farm, and that was the highest detection for one single week in the last 4 years. And when we look for disease diagnosis reports at Iowa State VDL only, there was an increased number of diagnoses for Mycoplasma pneumoniae during October.
All right, so that's a good transition here, moving from the domestic disease monitoring report, which is based on PCR, to the domestic disease monitoring, to the disease diagnosis report, which is based on diagnostic codes and based on actual disease, which is beyond detection. And you just said that there was a spike or increased in the number of cases diagnosed with Mycoplasma pneumoniae disease. What else is relevant, Giovanni, on that disease diagnosis report? Relevant meaning what has been diagnosed above expected levels based on the monitoring algorithms that we've been using.
That was additionally true for PERS virus, influenza A, Streptococcus suis, Pasteurella multocida, and rotavirus. The advisory council did provide us the feedback that these detections are occurring in different herds and are part of the basically complex respiratory disease syndrome, and there is no need to raise concerns about alarming some high geographic detection of these agents, but that the need for monitoring to detect these agents else did increase the number of diagnoses for these agents at this period of the year, and that it's according to the expected in the field.
All right. So anything else that we should cover?
That's it for this report.
So that's about all we have for today for the report 22. Appreciate your feedback. Just a quick reminder, those reports, the PDF reports, are available in the SHIC website, swinehealth.org, and the reports, as well as the online interactive dashboards and the audio reports, are also available in our group's website, which is www.fieldepi.org/SDRS. Thanks again. See you next month.
Thank you. See you next month.
Well, come on, go